Hello, my beautiful souls. I decided to record a special episode because there's been so many people reaching out to me and explaining to me what's happening with their bodies currently. And a lot of you, and also I myself personally, have been through a lot during this time in lockdown, during this great shifts that are happening in the world. And yeah, I just wanted to record a episode where I can explain to you better how to deal with this stuff, and also to maybe share with you some perspectives on what other people are experiencing, so that you can see that you're not alone. Because I'm realizing that no matter what we're going through, or no matter what is our personal situation, it's so easy to get trapped into belief that we are suffering the most and that no one could understand us, and that everyone else is just, dealing with it better than we do. And I know this can be very devastating, and especially in the world of social media, and right now, where I feel like as we are locked home, there's more and more people online, and there's more and more, online courses and all the activities that you should do. I mean, you should, that people are suggesting you to do. And yeah, it's crazy because this was supposed to be a time when we chill, when we relax, when we take time for ourselves. But I feel like there is a invisible pressure that is still going on. And yeah, I just wanted to jump on here to maybe take that pressure away from you and give you some of my perspective about what's really happening with the earth, and how can you use this time to best support you on this personal journey. Yeah, the reason why people start reaching out is actually because a few days ago I posted on my IG stories a clip from Kimatica. Actually, Kimatica, it will be probably correct because it's a Greek word. That's basically a, how should I say, documentary from Ben Stewart. And Ben is amazing. Ben is like a person that will challenge every single belief that you ever had about this world. And I really love his work because he's upfront with what he's doing, and he doesn't give a shit about what's considered right or wrong in this world. So I love to watch his documentaries because, like I said, it always shifts perception. And in the clip that I shared on IGTV, it was actually about how in ancient traditions, like in this ancient civilizations, they used to have a lot of rituals, a lot of ceremonies that were there to kind of connect you with your soul, and they were doing it based on astrology. So whenever there was a certain cycle of the planets and they felt like, oh, now is the time to do it, they were holding the ceremonies, and people were going through personal, how should I say, personal cleansing. And the reason why they were doing this is because we all have cycles. We all have things that are coming up in different stages, in different situations. And there are planets that are influencing us, or moon that is influencing us. And there are certain periods where we feel like, holy shit, there's a certain cycle that wants to pop up right now. But in the society as we live in, we don't appreciate, or we don't even acknowledge that there are certain cycles and there are certain periods that it would be better for us to, take time to recharge, take time to connect with who we are. But instead we just keep on going, we just keep on, doing our things because we have a deadline, because we have, all those things that we have to do. But one thing that Ben Stewart was actually explaining in this movie is that if you deal with what's inside of you, like there was no real need for catastrophes to actually come up, to be manifested, because people were dealing with what was coming up. And now in this world where we are massively refusing what's coming up within us, we have created a collective manifestation of catastrophes that are coming up and will be coming up for us to really acknowledge what's happening within. Because the outer world, the physical world, all the manifestations that are actually coming up are just the projections of what's happening within. And even though you might argue that, hey, I didn't manifest this coronavirus, in the end, we all did. We have a collective energy. We're all, like, each of us is contributing to the collective energy of this planet. And, like, we were basically in need for something like that, for shift to occur in the future. So I definitely believe that whatever is happening and is going on is definitely a collective call for help, a collective call for change, for acknowledging of some stuff that we were refusing to see before. And I think that it was definitely necessary. And what I wanted to say here is that since we are not acknowledging what's happening within and we are manifesting this collective chaos, we are now at the point where we can look at the earth, for example, as a one individual. And the earth itself, as we are one individuals, the earth itself is going through a transformation as well. I want you to acknowledge what you are currently experiencing as you individually is a collective shift. It's both your shift, personal shift, and a collective shift, and the shift of our planet. So I really, really want you to be gentle with yourself, to be gentle with your body. Because every time that there is a certain energetic shift that is happening, you have to be aware that your body will have the hardest time to catch up with it. What I mean by that is, you have your physical body, you have your emotional body, you have your mental body, then you have your astral body and all the other bodies that are above that. And if we look at the upper bodies, so like from 4-dimensional up, things are able to shift like very, very quickly and very rapidly. But physical body is still on the planet Earth, is still going through, there's still physical laws here, which can be bent. It's not that all physical laws are exactly as they are all the time, but it will always be that the physical body will take the longest to shift on a higher vibration. So now as you can imagine that the whole earth, like as I said, one individual went through a portal to a higher dimension, and now every single being, or I can say every single cell of this individual, have to vibrate with a higher frequency. And how do we vibrate on a higher frequency is we have to eliminate the lower frequencies. We have to eliminate whatever doesn't serve us so that we can be lifted on this scale. So it's very, very common right now that you will feel very tired, that your body's going through all sorts of physical instabilities, because you have to know that as we said, if we look at the body as one, I mean, we are one individual, we are calling ourselves one individual, but if we look at ourselves and we look deep within, we have the cells that are one individual as well. So you can imagine all those cells, just as every body on this planet has to elevate. So all the cells of this planet has to elevate, all the cells from our body has to elevate. So we are all just doing the same things but on a different scale. And so every single body that you every single cell within your body will have to go on a high vibration. How will that happen is cells will start eliminating things that are not serving them. So it means that there might be like the excess amount of toxins being released, which can manifest in your body as a lot of crying, a lot of sweating, a lot of any kind of inflammation, eye inflammation, ear inflammation, maybe a cold, maybe a sore throat, maybe what else is there? Maybe diarrhea, anything that is reminding you of eliminating. So everything that is taking out stuff from your body, throwing up, for example. I had this during this period. But I feel like my whole transformation or upgrade started happening in January because I went through some personal shifts that were very painful for me. So I basically had before the corona even happened and before the whole world started panicking, I had 2 months of already crying and being at totally like rock bottom. And when everything started happening collectively, then it was just like a peak for me to release whatever wasn't serving me. But I feel like I was, because it's been like such a long journey for me already, that I was able to get back to myself pretty quickly after being in lockdown. But anyway, I had periods within that where I was like connecting with that pain within, and I had the urge to throw up. So, that's just a process of doing this shit. And why am I basically explaining to you all that and pointing out all the things that can be going on with your body is because most of the people actually reach out and saying that. Like I had people saying that they have extreme anxiety coming in waves and that they feel it in their chest and it just paralyzed them. And I would just say that whenever there's a strong emotion coming up for you, try to expand it. So what we are usually doing is like there's emotion coming up and we try to contract it. So we are looking at it and we are like, no, go away, I don't want you, let's try to do something else, I don't want to go there. But instead of like trying to contract it, trying to expand it. What it means is like sit with it or go somewhere where you feel safe, or like you can be surrounded with nature, whatever feels right for you, and just like sit with it, close your eyes and expand it, which means that allow it to come and imagine it being like a bubble in your chest and just imagine it going it broader and broader and broader and just make it as broad as you can. It can be bigger than your whole body and just try to feel it with every single cell in your body. Because what you're doing in that point is like the actual feeling is releasing. And the more you will feel it, the more you will see what your body is craving for you to do during this time when you're feeling it. Which means that, sometimes when you have like this emotions coming up, all you need to do is just like open up your arms, open up your legs and just be like, okay, I just want to feel it fully. And that will do the work. Sometimes it's your body's craving the movement, and you feel like you have to get angry, and you start, kicking stuff, you start being like screaming, or you start just like letting things out. Other times it will be like you feel it, and it hurts so much that you just have to cry. And when you're crying, just make sure you're also shaking, make sure you have like a whole experience of crying, don't hold back. And why am I telling you all this stuff, even though they are not the most beautiful things to advise you, is that currently the energy is so strong that if you don't deal with these emotions that are coming up, they will keep on coming up. It's going to come in a cycle, and the cycles will get like shorter and shorter. And slowly it will be that every single day you're getting the cycles, and every single day you're feeling so weird and so terrible in your body. And it's not going to go away until you look at it, until you face these demons, until you acknowledge them, and then you'll be released. And I promise you that if you will do this, if you will acknowledge it and go there and feel it, maybe you'll have to feel it a couple of times, maybe one session of doing that won't work totally. For example, for me, I probably had like during this 2 months of transformation, I probably had like at least 20 of intense releasements like this. But as I said, for me, it wasn't just like a collective pain that I felt. It was also a huge personal loss and everything that was happening behind. So this is just to kind of give you the idea of how I feel like everyone should deal with that. Or, I mean, not everyone, but you have to find a way to deal with it. And this is maybe a way that I felt is most beneficial for me, and the only one that was ever working. I can try to mask it, I can try to run away, I can try to get, different, I don't know, like just, yeah, I've tried so many things, but nothing really works until you don't face it. One thing that can help you here are the actual healings, guided by someone. Like, I'm doing the healings as well for people, and the only thing that is kind of necessary when you're doing healing is that you really choose a person that you feel connected to and that you feel like you can trust them, because you want to be able to release the emotions, to release the feelings that are coming up in the healing. And yeah, it's very important that you get to someone that you feel very pulled to, and that you feel like you can trust them and have this connection within. Well, basically other people reached out. One of them said that they're having all kinds of inflammation, eye inflammation, and nose and lips, and like bodies doing something crazy. And there was one person that said that he has nightmares all the time, and nightmares are also very, very common during this period. And it's just like your subconscious trying to tell you something, trying to give you something to work on. So all those things are basically your soul asking you to look at yourself. We currently manifested a certain chaos that's happening outside, but at the same time we manifested a lockdown, which is like, hey, there's not gonna be many things happening for you, so you will have to be locked within yourself, locked by yourself, and you will have to face what's coming up. And this is a way that you are upgrading, and every single time your body will release something, your body will let go of some emotions, and your body will, eliminate some of this low vibration. You as a whole will be lifted on a higher vibration, because you have to be aware that any low vibrational stuff within you, any, stored trauma or emotional blockages or like guilt, shame, all those negative, lower vibrational energies are like a stone that is keeping you down. And as soon as you let go of that stone, your overall base vibration will be lifted. And I believe this is a best way to actually lift your vibration and then attract better things in life, because only if you're really addressing what's happening within and you're really dealing with the emotions that are coming up,